Okay, here I am. And here we go. Procrastinated long enough. And where is it?
Live tutoring.
Oh, dang it.
Tutor match.
No.
Writing lab.
Go back.
Send question. Academic tools.
Ugh,
Skill surfer.
stop. Lost my place that fast. No. No. There we go. Gosh. All right. Now, back to starting.
Reading placement, reading comprehension.
Where'd she go? No.
In
I
the
don't-
reading comprehension section of the test, you will read a passage and answer.
I did not want you. I had you set.
In the reading placement, reading comprehension.
It's
In
not
the
what I
reading
wanted.
comprehension section of the test,
I
you
don't
will
want
read a
you.
passage and answer questions based on information that is contained in the text.
Why don't you just keep what I want?
You will see both short and long passages on this part of the exam.
Is it Thomas?
Each
Reading passage is followed by a multiple choice
wasn't
question
Thomas.
with choices A, B, C.
Brian?
C and D.
Yeah.
The questions on this part of the reading comprehension
That's what I
test
want.
fall into
Back to
reading
start.
placement, reading comprehension.
Okay.
In the reading comprehension section of the test, you will read a passage and answer questions based on
Based.
information that is contained in the text. You will see both short and long passages on this part of the exam. Each reading passage is followed by a multiple choice question with choices A, B, C, and D. The questions on this part of the reading comprehension test fall into 4 different categories. 1. Main
An
idea of the passage. 2. Specific details in the passage. 3. Implication or indirect references in the passage.
Oh, nice.
4.
Auto-scroll.
Questions asking about the author's purpose. Practice.
Practice.
For the following questions, read the passage and then select the correct answer to the question. You may need to answer based on explicit information from the passage, as well as ideas that are suggested or implied in the passage. Passage 1. In 1749,
Thank
British
you.
surveyors spotted a high peak in the distant range of the Himalayas. More than 100 years later, in 1852, another survey was completed, which confirmed that this peak was the highest mountain in the world. Later named Mount Everest, this peak was considered to be the world's highest mountain until 1986. At that time, George Wallerstein from the University of Washington posited that another Himalayan mountain, named K2, was higher than Everest. It took an expedition of Italian scientists, who used a surfeit of technological devices, to disprove Wallerstein's claim. According to the passage, which one of the following statements is correct? A. Since 1749, Mount Everest has universally been considered to be the tallest mountain in the world. B. Wallerstein fell into disrepute in the academic community after his claims were disproved.
No.
C. The Italian team confirmed that Everest was, in fact, the tallest mountain in the world. D. In spite of a lack of technologically advanced equipment, Italian scientists were able to refute Wallerstein's hypothesis.
It's C.
Passage 2. Socioeconomic
No, it wasn't passage 2.
status, rather than intellectual ability, may
Wait. So the Italian team confirmed that Everest was the tallest mountain. Okay. That would be C. All right. Carry on. Passage 2. Where are you? Don't change the voice.
Passage 2.
Thank you.
Socioeconomic status, rather than intellectual ability, may be the key to a child's success later in life. Consider 2 hypothetical elementary school students named John and Paul. Both of these children work hard, pay attention in the classroom, and are respectful to their teachers. Yet, Paul's father is a prosperous business tycoon, while John's has a menial job.
Well, there's pause. I'm going to see if I can fix that display a little. I don't think it needs to be at 80% transparency. I think I'd give it 100. Yeah, it's a little better. And I don't have to be so dark. I think I can lighten up a little. I'll move me to 33% saturation. It's a little better. I don't need to be so prominent. Yeah, back to this. I'm procrastinating, as you can see.
Job working in a passage 2. Socioeconomic status, rather than intellectual ability, may be the key to a child's success later in life. Consider two hypothetical elementary school students named John and Paul. Both of these children work hard, pay attention in the classroom, and are respectful to their teachers.
Okay, it's nice.
Yet, Paul's father is a prosperous business tycoon, while John's has a menial job working in a factory. Despite the similarities in their academic aptitudes, the disparate economic situations of their parents means that Paul is nearly 30 times more likely than John to land a high-flying job by the time he reaches his 40th year.
I need it slower, I'm sorry.
In fact, John has only a 12% chance of finding and maintaining a job that would earn him even a median-level income.
Okay.
We can conclude from information in this passage that A. Academic ability is directly related to one's financial status later in life. B. Children from high-income families are academically successful. C. Children from affluent families are more likely to remain affluent as they grow older. D. Most children from low-income families will get jobs in factories. Passage 3.
What? Socioeconomic status. So, children from affluent families are more likely to remain affluent. High-flying job means a lot of money. Okay. That would be C. Okay. Continue.
Sir Isaac Newton had the prescience to appreciate that his study of natural phenomena was of great import for the scientific community, and for society as a whole. It is because of Newton's work that we currently understand the effect of gravity on the Earth as a global system. As a result of Newton's investigation into the subject of gravity, we know today that geological features such as mountains and canyons can cause variances in the Earth's gravitational force. Newton must also be acknowledged for the realization that the force of gravity becomes less robust as the distance from the equator diminishes, due to the rotation of the Earth, as well as the declining mass and density of the planet from the equator to the poles. What is the author's main purpose?
To write a question
A.
for a test.
To analyze natural phenomena. B. To reconcile various gravitational theories. C. To identify a reservation which Newton experienced. D. To emphasize the significance of Newton's achievement.
Newton must be acknowledged. So as a result of Newton, so we got Newton had the prescience. As a result of Newton, Newton must also be acknowledged. That's 3 times. So D. Starting to get it.
Achievement. Passage 4. In 1804,
Just so slow.
Meriwether
Okay.
Lewis and William Clark began an expedition across the western United States, then known as the Louisiana Territory.
Very hard for me to slow down. And
The
pay
two
attention.
men had met years earlier and established a long-lasting friendship. When Lewis was later a young captain in the Army, he received a letter from President Thomas Jefferson offering him funding to explore the Western country. With Jefferson's permission, Lewis offered a partnership in the expedition to his friend Clark. When their journey had safely concluded 8,000 miles later, President Jefferson purchased the Louisiana Territory for $15 million. The purpose of the passage is A. To give the background to Lewis and Clark's westward expedition. B. To defend the purchase of the Louisiana Territory. C. To state a crucial decision made by Thomas Jefferson. D. To compare the skills of Lewis and Clark.
A. Because it mentions him here once. Lewis, Clark. Yeah. Yeah. Has to be A. This is where I get confused. See, I remain uncertain when I do these things. Okay. No. I'm not switching to AI here. Just going to keep going.
Passage 5. Cancer occurs when cells in the body begin to divide abnormally and form more cells without control or order. There are some factors which are known to increase the risk of cancer. Smoking is the largest single cause of death from cancer in the United States. In addition, poor food choices increase cancer risk. Indeed, research shows that there is a definite link between the consumption of high-fat food and cancer. From this passage, we can infer that A. A low-fat diet can reduce the risk of cancer. B. Smoking always causes cells to divide abnormally. C. The consumption of high-fat food has increased in recent years. D. Most cancer sufferers have made poor food choices.
It's
Answer
A.
key.
Oh, good.
A. A low-fat diet can reduce the risk of cancer. B. Smoking always causes cells to divide abnormally. C. The consumption of high-fat food has increased in recent years. D. Most cancer sufferers have made poor food choices. Answer key. Passage 1. See the last sentence of the passage states.
Did I get it wrong? C. I got it right.
States, it took an expedition of Italian scientists, who used a surfeit of technological devices, to disprove Wallerstein's claim. In other words, the Italians proved that Everest was in fact higher than K2.
Okay.
Note, surfeit means a large or abundant amount of something.
Okay, I'll never use it again. But
Passage 2. See the passage states, Paul is nearly 30 times more likely than John to land a high-flying job. High-flying means well-paid, so Paul, and other children like him, will remain affluent.
Okay, I got that right.
The other answer. Passage 3. D. The passage uses the word prescience, which means insight, to describe Newton in the topic sentence.
So D, I got it right.
Later, Passage 4. Either the main purpose of the passage is to describe how Lewis and Clark met and
Got it.
Passage 5. A. This type of question tests your ability to draw conclusions from the information that is stated in the passage. Expert help. Live tutoring. Reading comprehension practice 2. Read the passages and answer the questions that follow. People loved to come to the Gros Grande bakery. When one opened the door, an exquisite fragrance of newly baked bread and cakes greeted the nostrils, and, if you were not hungry when you entered, you were sure to become so when you examined and smelled the delicious pies and donuts and gingerbread, and buns with which the shelves and showcases were stocked. There were trays of French candies, too, and because all the goods were fresh and wholesome, the bakery was well patronized and did a thriving business.
Oh, I hate these kind of questions.
1. What is the main idea of this passage?
That always gave me grief. Okay. You can't see my hand covering it. Okay, here's my hand I'm covering. Wait, can I make this where you can see me covering it? No. Wait. No. Interesting. Nope. Where would it be if I wanted to show me covering it and actually covering it? Yeah, my hand has to be seen. Oh, interesting. Because of the angle, there's no way to do this. Well, actually, right about there. That's accurate to truth. Yeah, because I can't see that. Wait, yes I can. Nope, not quite. So that, nope, there. Nope, look further away. If I'm blocking it, there. That's exactly what I see. Oh, good. Okay. So, the main idea of this, people love to come to the bakery. Everything smelled good. People love to go because it smelled good. People love to eat bread, love to come, gingerbread. And they love to come, so that's B. Great. Oh, it is. Descriptive. Yeah. Oh gosh, where would this appear? Well, story. I mean, yeah, it's a story. B. A story. B, a story. B, children. Most of his customers are a large number of people shop there. I gotta look at the key. People love to come, so B. C. A list of descriptive, yes. C. B. Children. That was hard for me. That was very hard. Okay, I'm happy I got that one. I didn't like to be confused.
Passage. A. People love to eat bread. Read the passage and answer the questions that follow.
Okay.
I am sorry you have lost the watch, Luke, said the teacher, after Randolph's departure. You will have to be satisfied with deserving it. I am reconciled to the disappointment, sir, answered Luke. I can get along for the present without a watch. Nevertheless, Luke did feel disappointed. He had fully expected to have the watch to carry home and display to his mother. As it was, he was in no hurry to go home, but remained for 2 hours ice skating with the other boys. He used his friend Linton's skates, Linton having an engagement which prevented his remaining.
Odd language.
It was 5 o'clock when Luke entered the little cottage which he called home. His mother, a pleasant woman of middle age, was spreading the cloth for supper. She looked up as he entered. 6.
The teacher does not
B.
like him.
He did not win the watch.
Yeah.
C. 7. What does the author mean by Linton having an engagement? D. Linton had to be somewhere else. 8. Why is the teacher sorry that Luke has lost the watch? A. He feels that Luke deserves the watch. 9. A. 10. B. 12. C. 25. D. 40. 5. 6. B. The passage states that Luke had hoped to win the watch. 7. D. D. Linton. 8. A. 9. 10. B. The other ages are probably too old. Expert help. Live tutoring. Tutor match. Reading placement, sentence relationships. The second part of the reading comprehension test covers sentence relationships and has 10 questions. Each question contains 2 sentences. On this part of the ACCUPLACER, you will be asked what the relationship is between the 2 sentences. The relationship between the first sentence and the second sentence usually falls into one of the following categories.
Oh, what's this?
1. Repetition of information.
Okay.
2. Problem and solution. 3. Cause and effect. 4. General principle and specific example.
Yeah.
5. Contrast or contradiction. 6. Analysis or expansion of a claim. 7. Reinforcement of a statement. 8. Drawing a conclusion or summing up.
Okay.
The sentence relationship type of reading comprehension questions on the ACCUPLACER exam measure your ability not only to read carefully and understand what you have read, but also to draw logical relationships between the information given. Practice.
Gotta put something away, but I like this a lot. This is what I need. Okay. Ugh. Got a hat on now. Finally cool enough to put a hat on. Okay.
Expert help.
No.
Live tutoring.
No.
Tutor match.
Practice.
Practice. For the following questions, you will see 2 sentences. Read the sentences, and then choose the best answer to the question. 1. Interviewing for a new job can be an extremely stressful event.
Yes.
Many job candidates become anxious about having to respond to certain interview questions, especially those that ask them to prove their competence.
Okay.
How are the 2 sentences related?
Uh-oh.
A. They repeat the same idea. B. They give a problem and a solution. C. They make a comparison. D. They provide a general claim and specific example.
Interviewing for a new job can be extremely stressful. Stress and anxiety go together. They don't mention interview questions. Competence. They don't mention interview questions. The first one. Okay, it's not B. There's not a problem and solution. They're not comparing things, so it's not B and it's not C. Stressful, anxious, stressful, anxious. It's this one.
ND. They provide a general claim and specific example.
I would love to highlight. They don't have a highlighter, do they? Well, I would love a highlighter, but I think it's D. Okay.
Example 2. The pain associated with certain medical conditions can be alleviated by listening to classical music on a regular basis.
That's great.
A great deal of American hospitals have established
big
music
believer in
therapy
music
programs to help reduce the suffering of their terminally ill patients.
Oh gosh.
What does the second sentence
Patience.
do?
Patience.
A.
Proofread.
A. It supports the claim made in the first sentence.
Misspells a word.
B. It gives the reason for the result mentioned in the first sentence. C. It contradicts the evidence given in the first sentence. D. It draws a conclusion about what is stated in the first sentence.
Okay. Never been good at this. It's making explicit what's implicit. Okay. The pain associated with certain medical conditions can be relieved. A great deal have established music therapy. Okay. No, it's not a reason. It does not contradict. It can be. They use it. It supports the claim in the first sentence.
A. It supports the claim made in the first sentence.
Okay. Wonderful.
The tornado caused widespread devastation to property in the local area. Property insurance is much more expensive now than it was before the storm. What does the second sentence do? A. It states the effect. B. It gives an example. C. It offers a solution. D. It makes a contrast.
I will need this taking tests. Oh, I wish they had this when I was a kid. I think the timed tests would kill me on these parts. I think that's why I did poorly. And I don't think this way. A tornado caused widespread devastation to property in the local area. It's more expensive now than before the storm. We deal with this for real. Caused widespread devastation. Second sentence. Property insurance is more expensive now because the tornado caused devastation. It's not a contrast. It's not a solution. Well, I don't think it's a solution. It's not an example. Well, it is devastating, but it's an effect. It's
A. It states the effect.
great.
4. The city has been trying to reduce the amount of litter dropped by pedestrians.
Okay.
The municipal government has recently introduced fines for littering. How are the two sentences related? A. They repeat the same idea. B. They provide a general rule and a specific example.
The city has been trying to reduce the amount of litter dropped by pedestrians. They recently introduced fines, so it's a way. Problem, solution. See. According to the laws of gravity, it repeats the same thing. It applies the theory. C. Increasing levels of pollution have an adverse effect on the environment. The government has established regulations to limit noxious fumes. Solution, problem, solution. C. I'm not going to remember the answers I gave. I need to write these down. I can do that. I can do that. I can put a notepad over here. Yeah. Okay. So I've got one. Oh, I gotta redo these now. I should have written them down. D. Supports the plan. Solution. Does the same thing twice. It applies the theory. Okay. Solution.
It is widely believed that some whale species became endangered as a consequence of overhunting. Studies were undertaken to assess the impact of environmental factors, natural non-human predators, and hunting regulations. What does the second sentence do?
C.
Do? A. It repeats the same idea as stated in the first sentence. One should take regular vacations in order to maintain his or her physical health and well-being. Recent research demonstrates that taking a vacation helps to reduce the chances of getting certain diseases, particularly those that are caused by high stress levels. How are the two sentences related? A. They repeat the same idea. B. They give a problem and solution. C. They provide a general rule and a specific example. D. They create a contrast. Answer key.
I don't know. I guess. Hey. I don't like how I did here. D. Especially. Oh. Certain. Can be. Can be indicates a claim. Oh. I don't remember that, but okay. So we got that right. D. C. Yeah. C. 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 Oh, 7 I got wrong. 7 is C. Oof. M. C. So I got 2 wrong. 7 is the first sentence makes a limited claim. Do this again.
7. It is widely believed that some whale species became endangered as a consequence of overhunting. Studies were undertaken to assess the impact of environmental factors, natural non-human predators, and hunting regulations. What does the second sentence do?
Oh.
A. It repeats the same idea as
Widely believed.
believed that some whale species became endangered,
So they undertook studies.
undertaken to assess the impact of environmental factors, natural non-human
Got it.
predators, and hunting
So A versus
regulations.
C. C. Oh. Everyone should research specific example diseases. Diseases in high stress are a specific example. This is the general rule. I understand what I did wrong here. Good. Oh, it gets more. Oh, okay. It's fine.
1. The owning of an automobile allows Americans the opportunity to explore this vast country.
Yes.
In failing to develop a national public transportation system, the ability of Americans to travel is severely limited.
Contradicting.
How are the two sentences above related? A. They contradict each other. B. NDD. They support one another.
Yeah. Okay.
2. Maya Hardware experienced its worst sales in 4 years. The business is not expected to stay.
It's a fact.
C. It states an effect. D. It gives an example.
Oh, we better write these down. Damn it. It's all these things. To say
Three, males and females are treated differently from grade school through college. Therefore, this treatment of the sexes by school officials influences both the student's choice of career and level of performance. How are the sentences related? A. The second sentence contradicts the first sentence.
no.
B. The second sentence shows a cause of the first sentence. C. The second sentence states an effect of the first sentence.
Yeah, it's an effect.
C. The second. 4. The function and meaning of the American family have changed over time. There is now a stronger emphasis on romantic love between parents and an increase in the number of mothers in the workforce. What does the second sentence do? A. It gives examples.
Examples.
B. It states effects. C. It contradicts ideas found in the first. 5. Buying a new car can be extremely stressful. Potential car owners become nervous about being taken advantage of by salesmen, entering into difficult long-term financial commitments, and getting the best car value. How are the two sentences related? A. They repeat the same idea. ND. They provide a general claim and specific example. 6. Studies indicate that listening to classical music can improve children's academic performance.
That's what they say.
Videos such as Baby Einstein and CDs such as Baby Brahms have great acclaim with both psychologists and parents that exposure to classical music at a young age increases child brain development. What does the second sentence do? A. It supports the claim made in the first sentence.
Studies have indicated It's not C. They are the studies. No. B. It gives reason for the result in the first sentence. Oh my gosh.
Seven. It has become common knowledge that the low-lying areas of Churchville, New York are subject to flooding in the spring. Flood insurance is much more expensive in the Churchville area than in other areas of.
Flood insurance is more expensive. That's an effect. Oh boy.
8. The village has been trying to eliminate vandalism.
Yes.
Public utility boxes and benches have been professionally painted with pictures and murals to encourage residents to take pride in their community.
Oh. Problem solutions. Oh, it's not as more.
9. According to the law of inertia, a body in motion will continue in motion unless a force acts upon it. An object moving away from the Earth will continue to move away from the Earth. Only the force of gravity from other objects in space will change its course. What does the second sentence do? A. It refutes the claim made in the first sentence. B. It draws a conclusion about what is stated in the first sentence. C. It applies the theory mentioned in the first sentence. D. It contradicts the.
It applies the theory. Let's see. Oh god, no. Oh god. Oh god, no.
10. Before video cameras were widely used, home and business owners had to rely only on written reports and photos as a way to document their valuables for insurance purposes. This form of documentation was difficult for some insurance policy holders. They found it was easy to lose lists, forget to add new items they purchased, or delete items they no longer had. As a result, these insurance inventories were often inaccurate. While videotaping is not an option for every home or business owner, this kind of insurance documentation.
Okay, it's D.
D. They present a problem and a solution. Answer key. 1. A2. C3. C4. A5. D6. A7. A8.
Wait.
C9.
A. C. Oh. 6 I got wrong. 7, 8, 10. So I got 6 wrong. supports the claim. Yeah. Yeah. Okay. Okay, I see it. Oh my. Oh. Oh. Yeah, I need this.
1. Brad Ion. Brad Taylor, the star quarterback, is injured this season.
Yeah.
The team does not expect to make the playoffs.
It's because...
How is the second sentence related to the first sentence? A. It contradicts. D. N effect.
Okay. Gives an effect. Okay. They give paid time off. It shows a demonstration. C. Anthony got a substantial raise. He will now have more work to do. B. Okay, I peeked ahead. I can't do that again. The contradiction, but see, I peeked. I'll write it down again. It supports it. So A. Oh boy.
Six. Joseph Pilates was born in 1880 in Germany. He was a frail child and wished he could find a way to build up strength. During World War I, he worked as a nurse in the army and developed a set of exercises for patients to increase their strength. After the war, he moved to New York City and developed his method of exercise into what is known as Pilates. Which of the following is not true based on the passage? A. Joseph Pilates was born in the 19th century. B. Joseph Pilates was American. C. Joseph Pilates lived in New York City. D. Joseph Pilates was interested in 7. Include plastics, aluminum cans, glass, and paper. Recycling has become popular among consumers within the last 30 years.
A.
Recycling can reduce the amount of greenhouse gases in the environment and is a major factor in the field of waste management. Which of the following is the most accurate? The Internet is very important to the modern world. People use the Internet for entertainment, communicating, learning, and as a news source.
Okay.
There can also be cons to the Internet, as some sociologists worry that people are slowly forgetting how to communicate in person, but the fact remains that the Internet is here to stay. The main idea of this passage is that the Internet A. weakens society. B. is for people who love technology. C. is an integral part of society. D. is hard to use. 9. Baby carriages were invented in 1848 by Charles Burton. He lived in New York City and faced opposition to his invention from people who felt they were unsafe. He believed in his idea and moved to England, where he opened a factory. He made carriages for Queen Victoria of England, Queen Isabella II of Spain, and other royalty. A factory opened in the United States 10 years later, but only 75 carriages were sold. Today, baby carriages are extremely popular, and almost every baby has at least one.
Oh, what happened first? I lived in New York City. You lived in New York City. You moved to England. You invented it first. D. National parks.
10. National parks are a great destination for family vacations. The National Park Service was established in the early 1900s to protect and preserve national parks. President Franklin D. Roosevelt was especially interested in natural resources and was influential in the organization. Among the most popular national parks are Yellowstone, Yosemite, and Glacier. What is the main idea of the passage? A. Franklin D. Roosevelt was a great president. B. National parks are treasured and preserved.
B.
C. Yellowstone is the most popular national park.
I didn't do those. I did them on the fly. So E is E. B. 7 is D. I got 7 wrong. 8 is C. D. B. So I got number 7 wrong. Number 7 was D. Number 7 was it was informative. Oh, I was. But there's more, isn't there? Oh, yes, there is. Oh boy. Fables. Okay.
1. Fables are stories, the products of fertile imagination, sometimes simple, often containing profound truths. They are not meant to be taken too literally. Details may sometimes appear childish, but most fables express a culture's most serious beliefs about human beings, morals, and accepted cultural behavior. The main idea of this passage is that fables A. are created primarily to entertain young children. B. are purposely written for the reader. C. provide the reader with a means of escape from reality. D. illustrate the values that are considered important to a society. 2.
Oh, I wasn't
Australia
listening.
has many strange
D. B.
Three. It is early summer. It is early summer. August's long-awaited vacation time still seems ages away, but by the same token, its torpor-producing heat and mildew-generating humidity have not yet arrived. Instead, these cool, end-of-June days practically insist on getting the picnic season underway immediately. But, alas, there is a difficulty: al fresco dining has a bad name among us. 10th-rate hot dogs,
Among us.
carbonized chicken parts, and beef à la charcoal lighter are principally what comes to mind when we hear the words outdoor food from a Spanish picnic.
That's funny. That's funny. Ugh. Hey. Oh, this is so boring.
4. In embarking on the fight for independence, America faced formidable obstacles. The Continental Congress did not have the authority to pass binding legislation or to impose taxes. The new nation had no army and no navy, and its population numbered only 2.5 million people, 20% of whom were slaves.
Oh, they included slaves.
Britain, by contrast, was a mighty power of 11 million people with the world's best navy and a well-disciplined army. 50,000 troops were in North America in 1778, and Britain hired 30,000 German soldiers to supplement its forces during the war.
Wow. Yeah. Uh. A. Oh, you're dying. Oh, put me out of here. Um.
5. Florida is experiencing its worst winter in 15 years. Orange prices are expected to be very high this year. What does the second sentence do?
It's an effect or a result.
Six. The modern American school system attempts to provide equity and equal opportunity for all students. Historically, older European school systems intended to distinguish between classes and provide privileged opportunities to an intellectual elite. What does the second sentence do? A. It supports an idea found in the first sentence. B. It analyzes an idea stated in the first sentence.
Oh, I can do this. Okay. What is that? It's all the way across. How interesting. I don't know what that is. Oh, look at that. Second sentence. However, falling asleep here. Doesn't support. It is a contrast, so I'm gonna have to go with C. Okay, D, I got it. B. Nope, it's C. D. D. C. So 3 and 4 I got wrong. Okay. Yeah, there are aspects. Okay, I see it. And it wasn't A, it was D. Yeah, okay. See it. Okay, I did the reading comprehension practice 1. And I did well. Does it show what I did? No. I think it's reasonable to stop